I get asked all the time, how do you gear up your character in Diablo? Once your character hits level 70, how do you gear them up? What's the best way? What's the fastest way? So I'm actually going to share with you guys a couple tips that I found really, really useful. So the first thing is obviously if you're leveling an alt, get on your main and farm some Nephilim rifts, and don't spend your blood shards, okay? Because blood shards are account bound. So what you can do is you can actually max out your blood shards at 500, then log on over to your alt, get on your alt, and then you can actually go through and spend those blood shards on gear that you may not have to kind of upgrade your set to get it so that you can farm a little bit easier and to maybe find some cool legendaries or really nice yellow pieces to really start your set off. Because the most important thing is being able to do damage and get your spec built and then kind of work your way to build that gear to kind of accentuate the spec that you want to play. That's the most important thing. So blood shards are a great way. The second way is obviously leveling in a group of the same characters. If, for instance, let's say I wanted to level a barbarian. When I first hit 70 on my barbarian, I had Aki and Jesse, who were both playing barbarians with me, in a group. Now, these guys were actually pretty well geared already, so what happened was anytime a piece or a legendary drop for them, or a really nice piece of gear drop for them that wasn't quite an upgrade for them, they would ask if I wanted it, because you can trade in your party within 2 hours as long as it's found on the ground. You cannot trade blood sharded items. That does not work, but you can trade legendaries that are found on the ground. So, or any gear that's found while in a party. So keep that in mind. You have 2 hours to do that. So find a couple of people who maybe have some fresh geared guys, go through and do some rifts, go do some lower end rifts, go do some split bag farming, whatever you got to do, and go through and do that, because that's really going to help you get geared as a group. Is okay, well, this doesn't really work for me, but you're using the fire spec, right? Or you're using a fire build, right? Yeah. Okay, well, I found these bracers. These are pretty good for it. Do you want them? Sure. And then you're slowly building, and then you guys kind of build gear a lot faster than you would if you were just soloing. So what's another way to gear out your guy? Obviously split bag farming for the essential items. Things like the Ring of Grandeur is really, really nice. So split farming Act 1 bags. You can get the Pauldrons of the Skeleton King as well while you're in there, which are some decent shoulders. So there's a couple different things you can get from Act 1. Obviously Act 2 you can get the Shrine Gloves. There's a few different things that you can get from different acts. So split farming all the acts also gives you the ability to get all the bags. You can farm up a bunch of bags so you can get a bunch of rift keys. You can also get a bunch of gems. You have a chance at legendaries, and then that's obviously a pretty quick way to gear, so you can get some really nice gear that way. So make sure that you're doing that. Now, once you get all those rift keys, obviously the most efficient way to find legendaries is in rifts. The problem is speed versus quality of rift, right? So do I go and do I do a tier 1 rift if I'm brand new and I'm not getting carried? Probably not. If it's going to take you 30 minutes to clear a rift, you're probably better off lowering the difficulty and just smashing through it as quick as you can. Something that you're comfortable with so that you can gain that XP, that you can get those bonuses, that you can fly through it, get to the end boss, kill stuff, and then hopefully you get some legendary drops. So you always want to start lower and then work your way up, especially when it comes to rifts. It's always about time versus difficulty, right? Like, how much time does it take me to do this difficulty of rift? If it's taking you an hour to clear a rift, lower the difficulty. You're doing it wrong. It should never take you that long to do a rift. It means you're wasting way too much time. In the time it took you to kill those 450 mobs to clear that rift, if it took you an hour and you could lower the difficulty down to master and you could do it, and you could do 4 rifts in that time, you could kill 1,600 monsters. What do you think you have a better chance at finding legendaries in? 1,600? 400? It's your choice. See what I'm saying? So it's all about speed versus efficiency. So make sure that you understand that. You want to be efficient as possible when farming, especially if you're by yourself, but especially also too if you're in a group. You can normally turn it up a little bit and you can adjust your spec to help the group out. Like for barbarians, do we have Warcry? Do we have Threatening Shout? What are we using to help our group, to really buff our group? Demon Hunters have tons of buffs. Monks have tons of buffs. Even Witch Doctors have the totem buff that they can give to other players. So there's a lot of things that you can do to really buff each other and really up the difficulty in which you can farm. So farming in a group, typically the best way to go, because you also get the bonus to Magic Find as long as you guys are together. So it's obviously more efficient if you're trying to build your gear to farm in a group. But I wanted to cover those ways, guys, to really make it efficient to gear your player, because in my stream I get asked all the time, hey, I'm a fresh level this, or level 70 this, how do I gear, what's the best way to gear? So I wanted to make a video explaining that to you guys. Also, if you guys have any other ways that you've seen or found or that are really efficient for you, leave them in the comments below so that other people can read them and find them and try them out, and if they work, great. It also will help me because I love to learn that stuff too, so if you guys have found something that I may have missed, please leave it in the comments below. Otherwise, thank you for watching, and as always, we'll see you in the next one.